In today's video, I'm going to be talking about why I quit carrying around social media with me and I started carrying around a gun. Now, you might be saying to yourself, I see you have social media on your phone, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I do carry around this Colt Cobra right here, 38 Special, on the daily in my pocket now. And honestly, I have been for quite some time. To square things away here, welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk. In this series, I like to drink coffee while sitting in my little tiny cabin on wheels out here on my family's 21-acre property that we're calling the Hopeful Homestead, hence the name of this channel. And I like to discuss in these videos all things fatherhood, faith, and freedom. I like to talk to all the dads and husbands out there that are going through life and maybe needing a little nudge in the right direction. And if this subject today doesn't hit you hard, I don't know what will. So, you might be saying to yourself, what does that mean you stopped carrying around social media with you? I still have my phone. I still have the social media apps on my phone now, but I just reinstalled them yesterday, to be honest. I took about a 3-week break where I didn't delete my accounts, but I deleted the apps from my phone. And the reason for that being what happened to Charlie Kirk. When he was shot at that campus event at Utah, obviously, like many of you, I saw videos flooding in through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything, Reels. I mean, it was like I couldn't get away from it. Every time I opened my phone, it was another camera angle of him being shot and the gruesomeness that was. And you know, with how fast that was, spreading online, there was no filter with any of it. It was gruesome and horrifying to look at. And at first, like many of us, I'm sure were, you're just sort of like enamored with it, where you can't stop. It's like, a dumpster fire. You can't not look at it because it's so egregious, and you just have to look at the dumpster fire. That's what I felt like, where I was just consuming everything I could find about it for probably the first couple of hours. Quickly, I started to realize how unhealthy that was for me to be just absorbing all of that and seeing that. And then as it transitioned to seeing everyone reacting to it online and seeing just the horrid, disgusting people out there that were praising what happened to Charlie. We can all have differences in life and disagreements, but at no point is it acceptable to praise someone being harmed in any way, much less assassinated like he was publicly. And with all of that, with just quickly growing tired of feeling like I couldn't open my phone without seeing the horrific images again and without seeing the horrific responses to those horrific images, I just got to a point where my wife and I both were like, that's it, I've had enough. I'm not going to stick my head in the ground and completely be ignorant, but I'm not going to have a portal to a window into just the evil of the world be directly in my pocket and on a constant basis. And so we just deleted social media apps from our phone. I thought to myself, if I need to go figure out what's going on in the world, I can get on my computer when I'm home, when I'm in a mindset of maybe being a little bit better prepared in the moment to take in what's going on. I can sit down, read the news, sign back into Facebook and Instagram and all that on my computer or on my iPad at home and take it in when I'm able to process it properly and when it's not affecting what I'm trying to do in the middle of the day, whatever my task at hand is. That seemed like a healthier way of doing it. And to be honest, for the 3 weeks that we didn't have the apps on our phones, at first was difficult because you'd start to realize how often you just, out of boredom, grab for your phone to open up and start looking at stuff. How quickly the instinct is to just jump on Instagram, jump on Facebook, jump on Twitter, whatever, to be able to just start consuming. When there's that much negativity in it, it's really damaging to your mental health through the day. And once we broke free from that, I had multiple conversations with people where someone would say, hey, did you see this person say this about whatever, this perspective on what happened to Charlie Kirk, this conspiracy theory about what happened. And it was kind of nice to not know all of the details and be like, that's an interesting thing. I need to go investigate that. And maybe later tonight when I'm sitting down and of the right state of mind, I'll go investigate that and research a little bit. It was nice to just have a break through the day when I'm trying to focus on everything I've got going on in the day as a husband and as a father dealing with life. It was nice not having that distraction. And then as time went on, the 3 weeks passed, my wife and I got to the point where we also realized that there is some value in social media, that we realized that is how we connect with family and friends that are further away and whatnot. And we missed that aspect of it, and sort of swung the pendulum back in the other direction, where we realized that there's value in it, but in the right form and in the right doses. And so what I decided and recommended for my wife to do, and decided to do for myself, was I was going to re-download the apps, but I was going to disable all notifications for them. And so far, in the past 48 hours since having the apps back on my phone, and since having had 3 weeks of getting out of the habit of constantly checking all of those outlets for just mindless reasons, it's been good. Not having that little red bubble, saying there's an unread notification on Facebook and on Instagram, like all the time, because literally there would be one all the time, no matter how many times you go and try to dismiss the unread notifications, there's always a new one. So not having that enabled means that even though when I open my phone to check the time or to respond to a text or something, I'm not immediately distracted with the unread notification that I have to go take care of. So while I do have the apps on my phone now, I don't have them in the capacity that I used to, and I've gotten out of the habit from taking 3 weeks off of social media, being in my pocket all the time. I'm out of the habit of it, and it's really nice. Honestly, I challenge you, if you're feeling like this might be something to do for your family too, give it a shot. And yeah, you'll encounter some resistance from family and friends that either think you're being too overkill or being crazy or something, or just say, hey, I'm just doing something temporarily to do a family reset. But at least you would have taken control instead of being at the mercy of all of these social media apps. And then to touch on the other side of that, carrying a gun, like I said, I've been concealed carrying for several years now to protect my family, but now, pretty much every waking moment of when I'm leaving the house, I've got my gun with me. And I've got multiple guns in my truck that are for if things really hit the fan. But I'm not going anywhere, whether that's either by myself, but really, especially if I've got if I got my daughters with me, or if I'm with my wife or whatever, I always have a gun with me. And that's even if we're going out in the front yard to play as a family and have my girls ride their bikes in the street, or if I'm walking out to the mailbox to get some mail and my family's in the house, I've got my gun with me. If I'm going in my car to go anywhere, I've got my gun with me, because at any moment, if the situation with Charlie Kirk didn't teach you anything, evil is out there, and evil is waiting to take you out, to shut you up and to silence you. And if you are going to be a man of God, a man of faith, and if you're raising a family to be that way, you've got a target on you. The bullseye's on your back just as much as it was on Charlie's back. And while I know it's impossible in all circumstances in life to avoid all harm, certainly what happened to Charlie, there was not much that could have been done to prevent that. At least if you're covering your bases to make sure that in every situation where you can defend your family properly, you've got a method to do that. Even if it's a little pistol like this. I carry this with me, a little 38 special in my pocket, because it's pocketable, and it'll get the job done if I need to defend my family. But all right, guys, thanks for watching today. Just wanted to have a little coffee talk discussing something that's been going on in my family's personal life recently that's started out negative and has been beneficial now that we've navigated this and figured it out a little bit. But again, my name is Chad Ainsworth. Thanks for having coffee with me today and talking through some difficult things in life. And I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Thanks for being here, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.